Hello guys and welcome back to the internet's best reactions. Today we are here at Silverstone, as you may have guessed by this pit lane, for the World Rallycross Championship. We've become digital media partners, so it's pretty cool. We're going to go to a few events across the season and there's going to be a few videos from here as well. But let's focus on the internet's best reactions to the Monaco Grand Prix. So the first reaction comes in at the start of the race, of course, with @Rowan Darcy Fryer. I thought the first lap would be carnage. They were very well behaved, weren't they? All going through turn one, up the hill. Absolutely no issues whatsoever. But at the front, @EVR_Franglish, Ricciardo leaving the rest of the field like Harry Potter gif, had to use it of course. Now this tweet I can relate to, it being the start of the race and both Haas's at the back. It's Haas by the way, not Haas apparently. Who knew? @GMAC1998, when you have a Haas as your car in your fantasy team, it is tough. It is tough having a Haas, which were actually pretty good sort of budget-wise at the start of the season for fantasy teams. Not doing too well now, are we, Grosjean and Magnussen? Now this, John Lawler, or @JLawler05, fantastic gif to sum up the Monaco Grand Prix in a nutshell. And dogs as well, who can't win with dogs? I mean, come on. As I was going through my timeline, I was wondering to myself exactly the same as @FrancenTova, I shouldn't have the time to tweet during a GP. For many years now, I have just gone through Twitter, just enjoying myself. I want Formula One back where I just want to watch every second. You know? Can you feel me? I feel me. Right, you guys have been commenting for the last few weeks. Oh, where's Guido? He's back, okay? He was away last week. The week before, or the race before, he wasn't that great with his tweets, so he wasn't that active. He's back. Max at the start. Guido, I love you. So the first moment of excitement was when Hamilton came into the pits, went for the undercut, which didn't work at all. The Ultra Softs just weren't as fast as the Hyper Softs at that particular moment in the Grand Prix. But at KettleTK, which I think a lot of us were the same, Hamilton pits now, it's hotting up. That popcorn gif still gets me to this day, but it just didn't turn out to be that exciting in the end. Hamilton just wasn't that quick. Now this picture pretty much sums up Williams' start to the race. God, it was just the most dreadful start. Like, even before they'd even begun, Sorokin was under investigation for having his car worked on or his tyres not being on 3 minutes before the start. Mazda_salad on Instagram says 10 laps into the Monaco GP, it was game over. Williams, just pack up your bags and go home. Oh no, the loud cars are back. Shush! Why are you that loud? There was a moment in the race when Hamilton pitted, as I mentioned, came up behind Ocon. Esteban slams on the brakes pretty much to let him through out of the tunnel, as @Linus Janetta points out, with Ocon really wants that Mercedes seat with a lift like that. I mean, who wouldn't? It's literally Mercedes. I would do the same. Stop farting. It's really warm. I'm really hot. I need an ice cold bath. Stop farting. Now, we're about halfway through the race, and I think everyone, including @K Zlatkowski, definitely didn't say that right, rain please. There was talk of maybe a little bit of rain in the air, but it just never happened. Monaco needs rain, otherwise it is just not an exciting race for at least overtakes. Strategy was interesting this race, but God, there were like hardly any overtakes. Now, there was a moment in the race that kind of annoyed me, and it was when Team Radio of Lance Stroll and the team were trying to get him back into the race, or at least be close enough to basically take advantage of a safety car. And he's like, what's the point in even racing? It reminded me of Hamilton in Germany, I think. And I'm just like, you are a Formula One driver. Stop being such a spoilt brat. @DannyRiaz00, live view inside Stroll's helmet, complaining all weekend. @MeanBoy2255, Stroll during the Monaco GP, crybaby of the week. I agree. Like. So last year, Daniel Ricciardo had the worst luck possible when his tyres weren't ready in the pits. This year, @Azritbn, when Ricciardo pitted and saw the tyres were ready. It was a relief to everyone seeing that Ricciardo's tyres were ready. However, his engine wasn't so ready in the race. Now, panic ensued at this particular time, as @BJL_91 points out, Ricciardo losing power. When that team radio came up and we saw Vettel about under a second behind, I was like, no, Danny Rick, not again, not again. Now, I do enjoy a good heartbeat meme. F1_F_stuff from Instagram. Normal heartbeat, deceased heartbeat, Ricciardo fans during Monaco GP. That's not a heartbeat, but still, enjoyed it. Now, this was quite heartbreaking. When we didn't really know if Danny Rick was going to get to the end or not, At It's Me Brad 19, Danny Rick, is it going to get better? Red Bull, no mate. Every Australian dropping the pizza. Yeah, it was heartbreaking to hear that it's not going to get any better. It's most likely going to get worse. It didn't, fortunately, but it was tense on the old heartular muscles. Heartular muscles. Yeah. Heart muscles. Now, the reason I didn't say this race was terrible is because actually Ishan Kotecha sums it up beautifully with Ricciardo engine issue, Vettel and Hamilton graining, Bottas on the best tyres but in P5, midfield faster than the leaders, Williams blowing up. What is happening? There was a lot for our brains to think about. Although nothing really turned into any kind of action, it was still teasing us potential, which is still fun to watch. But you do like a few overtakes as well, don't you, really? Now this one comes in from F1 Fastest from Instagram. Seeing Max overtaking the Monaco GP, how does that even work? And it has to be said, shout out to Max. He drove fantastically after his recent performances, although Spain was pretty good for him. This was also a good performance after his incident in FP3, getting points at Monaco, having to overtake quite a lot. Fair play, mate, well done. Good job, congrats. At Daily Blind FC, 45 laps in and nothing is clear. Who says Monaco is a procession? I mean, it was a procession. I mean, there was like, I'm gonna guess like 3 overtakes, maybe less. Now throughout the race, and even towards the end, although Ricciardo's pace did pick up at the end, they were doing like 120s, 119s. Esteban Ocon was about 20 seconds behind Bottas from 6th to 5th, and he caught up by the end of the race but couldn't do anything about overtaking. Does that say about the track, or is it the cars and the simplified front wings? Will that help to overtake around Monaco? I don't think so. I just think Monaco has been like that way since it's begun. It's just that kind of track. But at Lord Julie says, race to the finish right now. Tortoises everywhere. I think they're tortoises. Maybe, I don't know, or sea turtles. I don't know, but either way, they were crawling to the finish. I mentioned earlier Lance Stroll was quite the complainer. Another man complaining during the race was Lewis Hamilton, as at Pam_Sandu points out. Lewis Hamilton to Mercedes engineers in lap 44 to 47. Give me tyres, give me tyres. Another thing getting on my nerves over the course of this season, pretty much, the bloody graphics. Can they ever get it right? At, wow, what a name, LFJLMRE, what is that? Shout out to the infographics for working 20% of the time. 20%? That's very, very generous. Now, there wasn't much to get excited about for this Monaco Grand Prix, but what was exciting, as at Hayden32101 points out, was the last name brothers were back. It's quite emotional, actually, having seen them back. You know, they had like 4 races out, you know, Australia, and just nothing, back for Monaco. Don't know where they finished, but I think they got driver of the day, so good work, guys. Now, I was in agreement with @Stu Thom at the time. The finale laps of the race, interesting English. But I thought it was going to be very much a closed pack and then maybe some battling. I mean, the closed pack happened, but what's the running trend of this internet's best reactions? No overtaking! Monaco, off. So we almost went an entire Monaco Grand Prix without a safety car, a virtual safety car, or anybody retiring, and then Alonso obviously retired, but it was looking quite promising for a while. But watching Leclerc go into the back of Hartley, you didn't see that, Ali? It was great. and that pretty much sums up before we go into the race rundown.
And now it's time for Race Rundown with your host, Matthew Gallagher.
Here we are for the race rundown for the Monaco Grand Prix. 17 finishers, going to be here a while. Here we go. Ricciardo, Vettel, Hamilton, Falk. Ricciardo, Vettel, Hamilton, Raikkonen, Bottas. Match.exe has stopped working. Ricciardo, Vettel, Hamilton, Raikkonen, Bottas, Ocon, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Verstappen, Sainz, Ericsson, Perez, Magnussen, Van der Waal, Grosjean, Stroll, and Stroll. Yes. Really warm at Silverstone right now. Woo! That was fire. And the 3 DNFs were Leclerc, Hartley, Alonso. So that is it for the internet's best reactions here from Silverstone at the World Rallycross Championship. If you want to get involved next time, use the hashtag WTF1 on Instagram or Twitter, and you may be featured if it's interesting or funny enough. get involved. If you want to watch another video, click just here. If you want to subscribe, click just here. And if you want to go to a WTF1 shop, buy some race-relevant t-shirts and all that good stuff, click over here. I'm Matt with WTF1. Stay tuned for a couple of videos from the World Rallycross, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.